the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori.
Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Cause you listen to the Man Hour.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Bakasha here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page, and of course check out the blog section as well. There is new Beastie merchandise coming soon as we can figure out what we want to do with it. So we're definitely going to hammer that out as soon as we can. But tonight's episode is brought to you by pick'emwars.com. Head over to pick'emwars.com and you can sign up for free to win real money there. All you got to do is pick the games. There is NCAA football games, there's NFL games, and there's UFC and Major League Baseball as well. There's something happening every day over there at pick'emwars.com. So be sure to head over there and tell them that the Man Hour sent you. We do got an action-packed show, guys, here. Week 2 of the NFL season has been a thriller for sure. There's been some updates, some upsets. There's been some thrilling games to the very, very end. But speaking of thriller, we have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, BC Combs himself. Combsy, what's going on tonight, buddy?
What is going on, Buck? What's going on, Man Hour Nation? All of our people out there on 313 The Flash. Let's see what we got. Belly Up Sports. All the people over in the UK drinking their tea and eating their crumpets. What is going on, everybody, man? Week 2 of the NFL. God, it has been crazy. This second half of games, man. I was sitting here watching the Red Zone Network, going back and forth. I felt like watching a tennis match. I'm over here. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, we always got to welcome the funnest member of our show, Mr. Tori Anderson, at @manhour_. Tori, what's going on tonight, Tori?
You said awesomest wrong.
I did not.
He said funniest looking wrong is what he said.
Well, there ain't no denying that part of it.
Yeah.
I'm always the funniest looking one. And I'm still the best looking one. How bad's that?
Yeah. Luckily, we're on the radio, so it doesn't really
Fair.
matter, right?
Right? I've always said I got a face made for radio.
Yeah. All right, so guys, we do have some people popping in the chat here already. Like we have Drew and Nana popping in. What's going on there? Drew says it was a nail biter in Arizona. It certainly was. We'll be getting into that later in the show. But let's go ahead and break off the first game that we are going to talk about here today, guys, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. The Raiders did beat them 26-17. Derek Carr was 28 for 37 for 382 yards with 2 touchdowns on the day. So, Tori, I got to ask you this first question here. I was kind of down on the Raiders, saying, hey, they're just a flash in the pan, but are the Raiders for real now?
Are they for real, or are the Steelers just who we thought they were? We're still figuring things out at this point. I don't know if the Raiders are for real. At this point, they're 2-0. They beat a really good Baltimore Ravens team. They beat a Steelers team that beat the Bills last week. So eye test and stats wise, yes, they're good. Are they going to maintain it? Probably not.
All right. So Combs, I got to ask you the quiet question. Are the Raiders for real?
I think they are. I think they've got the talent to make this thing work. They're still the Raiders, so you kind of sit back and you kind of do a bated breath a lot like we do with the Cleveland Browns, right? Where we think that they're good and we think that they're good enough to be good, and then you're just like, oh, yeah, I forgot they're the Raiders. And they'll do something that'll remind us that they're the Raiders. I think that this was more, and I think that Tori hit the nail on the head. I think that this game was more about the Steelers are who we thought they were. I think that Najee Harris has been a complete and total disappointment through his first 2 games of his career. 16 carries, 45 yards. The guy has just not produced for this team yet.
He did have an amazing truck today, though.
He did. He did. And then he had that touchdown where it was on a screenplay. So it looked all right, but I mean, 16 carries, 45 yards through the first 2 games is not what you went out and got him for in the first round last year. It's just he hasn't panned out to be what they thought he was going to be. The Pittsburgh Steelers showed that possibly last week was just an aberration. It might have just been one of them week 1 flukes when they went into Buffalo and did what they did.
Yeah,
and to go back off the high of that and then to come home and to drop the game in the fashion that you dropped it this week, that's not good.
Yeah, Combs, and just to add to your point there, he actually only had 10 carries for 38 yards in the game. So
yeah, but I'm talking about on the entire season. He's 16 for 45, so that includes week 1.
Well, but then on the flip side of the coin, they are still throwing the ball an awful lot for Pittsburgh Steelers standards. I mean, Big Ben had 40 attempts in this game and only 27 completions. So with that being said, Tori, are the Steelers a good team, or are you saying what do you like? How do you say it? We thought we hardly are, or whatever.
They are who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were. I think they are who we thought they were. It's going to be a team that's just barely above average. Like they're still the Steelers. They're still a little bit of Big Ben magic. Still probably have one of the best trios of receivers in the league. But you're seeing that now where they're relying on that because Najee Harris just isn't getting it done. Like, the Steelers have enjoyed quite the string of success when it has come to a line of succession to running backs. And they're just not going to get it. They're too one-dimensional. People are going to catch on to that. Big Ben's not as mobile as he once was. They're just going to keep bringing the heat on him. I mean, he's still tough to take down, but, sooner or later you get hit enough, you start to flinch a little.
Right. So, I don't think Big Ben has ever been really mobile like at all. But Combs, a question comes up here in the chat here from Infinity Sports, Mr. Wayne G himself, over there. He says, when was the last time a first round running back turned out to be what he was supposed to be?
It's been a long time, and that's why, I've never been a big advocate of taking a running back in the first round. I don't think that that's a time when you need to take a running back, especially in today's NFL. Today's NFL is predicated on running backs that are a dime a dozen. And you can find the running back. There's very few running backs out there that are generational talents right now. You've got a couple. You look at even King Henry. It took him a couple years to actually settle in and become the beast that he has become over the last couple years himself. So you don't find that in the first round. You don't go out and you don't get that in the first round, which is why when the Steelers made that pick, instead of going with an offensive lineman, instead of going tackle there, it didn't make any sense to me. And I said it on draft night. I said, this is going to be a bad pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going to see it in the season. And so far, we're seeing it.
Tori, any thoughts on that comment from Wayne G?
I mean, the closest one I could think of right off the top of my head would be CMC, but even his rookie year was cut short by injuries, I do believe. I think he was hurt a lot of his rookie year. So technically he came in second year, yeah. And generally your ones that come in and are rookies and take the league by storm are generational talents that, your Adrian Petersons, your Barry Sanders, those types of running back from kind of a little bit more modern era. And it's just, it's an undervalued, or not, I shouldn't say, it's a devalued position these days. Everybody's going out, and you could literally find a running back. Aaron Jones for the Packers was a 5th round pick and the 3rd running back taken, So, okay, fine and dandy. They had drafted Jamal Williams, who is now in Detroit, probably starting for them tomorrow, early in the 4th round. So running backs, you're going to find them. You're going to find a productive running back wherever you take them. It doesn't always have to be that 1st round talent, but there's just not the home run hitters like there used to be. Even Kamara was even good his rookie year.
David Montgomery for the Bears was not a 1st round draft pick. Kamara was not a 1st round draft pick, I don't believe.
Nope.
You look at, you can go on, and the list goes on when you look at top running backs in this league. And I bet you, I would venture to say, if you took at the top 10 running backs in this league, I would venture to say maybe one or two of them was actually drafted in the first round.
Yeah, I have to totally agree with you on that, Combs, 100%. But moving on to the next game here that like we're going to talk about here moving forward, it is the Rams versus the Colts. The Rams beat the Colts 27-24, and surprise, guys, Carson Wentz goes out in the fourth quarter and did not return for the rest of the game. So, Combs, I got to bring you on screen first here. The Colts are now 0-2. Now, per on a 16-game season, when a team starts 0-2, there's less than a 12% chance of them making the postseason. Now, obviously, there's 17 games, and there's no data on such feature, but are the Colts done for the season after this 0-2 start and Carson Wentz going down?
No, they're not 0-2. They're not done. I mean, they're 0-2, but they're not done. I mean, you've got Tennessee next week. If you find a way to win that game, which Tennessee has proven through the first 2 weeks of this season, even though they did come back and beat Seattle today, which we'll get into that in a little bit. But if you beat Tennessee, then you've got Miami coming in. We don't know if they're going to have Tua. It doesn't look like they're going to have Tua the way he got carted off the field. And then they do get Baltimore, which is a tough one, but then Houston comes to town. So you could get back to, being 4-3 in a matter of time and still being in this division, because this division, outside of Indianapolis and Tennessee, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a lot like the NFC East was last year. 9-10 wins might win this division.
And I think 9 and 10 wins, like at this point, kind of seems to be a stretch. So, Tori, the Colts do play the Titans next week, and they are 0-2 to start the season, and we don't know if Wentz will be available for them or not. Is their season done?
No, not yet. They still have one of the better defenses in the league. Just been exposed against some pretty good offenses the first 2 weeks of the season. The defenses are still finding themselves as well. Let them ramp it up a little bit. I think the Colts will be just fine. Again, I think I had them going 9 or 8 or 10-7 on the year and actually winning the South. So I still think that could hold true.
All right. So on the flip side of that coin is, guys, we do have the Rams, and they are starting out the season 2-0, and Matthew Stafford is pretty much lighting up. He went 19 for 30 today, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw that one critical interception that could have cost him the game, but luckily it didn't. Tori, are the Rams for real?
Yeah, we've all said it before the season. The NFC West is the best division in football. That is like, anytime you see any of those teams playing, that's must-see TV right there. Like, you have to watch those games because every single one of those have really electrifying offenses and pretty damn good defenses on them. And they all, and I take it back, Seahawks lost today. So I was going to say they all won today, but they all put up points today, though. And just to show you that they're going to be fun to watch. Those divisional games are going to be crazy this year. If you see them betting, or if you see them playing each other, bet the over all season long when they play each other.
Bet the over. Combs, what are your thoughts on the Rams?
So I'll say that I have never seen Matt Stafford smile as much on a football field as I have with the Los Angeles Rams. He's extremely happy there. I saw a tweet earlier today that I actually responded to on Twitter, where the guy was like, don't act like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and Tyler Higbee is better than Megatron and Golden Tate, or better than Jones, Galladay, and Hawkinson, where I get where you're going with that, but the big difference with Matthew Stafford, as far as Matthew Stafford is concerned, is he went from that Detroit Lions coaching staff and that Detroit Lions front office to that Los Angeles Rams coaching staff and that Los Angeles Rams front office, which is heads and tails above what the Detroit Lions have to offer. And look, Matthew Stafford is having the time of his life right now. He's having a ton of fun. The Los Angeles Rams are a good football team. He's got a great defense there with him, which he never had in Detroit. And so that's the big difference for Matthew Stafford. And I don't think that that's going anywhere away anytime soon, because I think that Matthew Stafford and Los Angeles Rams are poised to have a great season.
So let me ask you guys this question. After the first 2 weeks of the NFL season, yes, there are 2 games left here as we are live on youtube.com/manhour every Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Do the Rams have the best defense and the best offense in all of NFL right now?
Defense, yes. offense is still a little bit of a work. Did you see the offenses today?
I did, yes.
I mean, I can't call any of them the best offense in the league right now because there's so many of them lighting it up right now.
Yeah, but maybe the Rams kind of had, quote, a down day because the Colts defense is so good, possibly.
If I'm going to talk about best defenses right now, it's going to be hard for me to talk about that without talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And when it comes to best offenses, it's also going to be hard for me to talk about without talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
I mean, they are right now, they look like the most complete team. And we might see another one of those tonight on Sunday Night Football as the Chiefs take on the Ravens. I think the Chiefs are right up there with them, of course. Everybody's picking to see a rematch in the Super Bowl this year. But, I mean, look, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look like they actually have the best defense and the best offense. But, look, the Los Angeles Rams, that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, they're still a top 5 defense. They're still going to finish as probably a top 10 offense. So, the Rams are really good. Their out of division schedule is not very tough. Their in division schedule is going to be very tough because you got a lot of really good teams in that NFC West. And I'm pretty sure did anybody lose it? Are they all 2-0 now?
No, Seattle lost.
Yeah,
Seattle lost.
Yeah,
That's right.
Lost. Yep,
so
overtime.
Yeah, and that was the one team that I had just barely over 10 wins in that division. So I mean,
the worst team I have in that division is 12-5. I mean, it's literally that good.
Seattle for me is 11-6, and I've got the Rams at 14-3, and they're finishing third in that division. I mean, that's how good this division is. So no, the Rams are very good. But to call them the best right now in the game on both sides of the ball, I think would be a little bit of a stretch.
All right, guys. So moving into the next game here before we head to our first break, but we still got to remember, you guys, the Man Hour is brought to you by pick'emwars.com. So head over to pick'emwars.com, and it is free entry, and you get a chance to win money for every picks that you pick over there. We did week 2 NFL games. Right now, I'm sitting like 15th place. Combs, how are you doing today? As far as NFL games,
I would be doing a lot better in these picks if I had known that they were against the spread. Yep. I didn't know they were against the spread, so heads up. I'm actually 11-2 on the day, so I'm not doing too bad today.
Corey, how about you?
I was like 17th when I looked last. I'm sure this afternoon that went downhill because
so guys, be sure to head over to pick'emwars.com and just tell them that the Man Hour sent you, and it is free to sign up, and you are picking games against the spread, except for UFC fights, like obviously, but and you get a chance to win up to $500 per week. So nice little.
I did very well last night on those two, by the way.
Yeah, very very nice little income if you.
By the way, he is saying Pick'em Wars. That I just got a text saying, is it Pick'em More? No, it's Pick'em, Pickemwars. Pick'em Wars.
Yeah, can like one of you guys put
Ladies
that in
and
the
gentlemen,
chat?
Somebody from Chicago can spell.
Can like
I'm actually very good at
like
spelling,
when you guys put that in the chat, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I forgot to put it in the description tonight. But this is a show where Brandon Combs is going to pump his chest. He's going to stick it out and say, "I told you guys so. I told you so." So obviously, guys, it is time to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears beat the Bengals 20-17. But the biggest news of the day is that Andy Dalton went down right before halftime and did not come back into the game. Justin Fields comes in, and he went 6 for 13 for 30 yards with a NIT. However, the biggest thing was he got a half of football versus the Bengals are not a bad team by like any means. We'll be talking about that later here. But Combs,
a very good team.
Is Andy Dalton getting hurt and Justin Fields playing the second half of this game a blessing in disguise for the Chicago Bears?
It's a blessing in disguise for Bears fans. I don't know if it's a blessing in disguise for the Bears because, look, before the season, and this is where I'm going to tell, you said I'm going to puff out my chest. I'm not going to do that because this is where I said that the Bears, even with Justin Fields starting the season this year, it's going to be tough for them to get into playoffs. They're maybe an 8-9 win team with Justin Fields as their starter. I saw a lot of bad things today with the Chicago Bears, even after Justin Fields came into the game. The offensive line still couldn't contain anything. Justin Fields had a couple of times where he just held on to the ball too long, one of which he ended up fumbling the ball because he didn't see the defender coming. The interception that he threw was not a very good interception. That linebacker deked the heck out of him, came up like he was coming in, and then just dropped back into coverage because he knew exactly where Justin Fields was going. Those are things that Justin Fields is going to learn from, so I'm not worried about that stuff. The things that I am going to worry about is when I look at a guy like Matt Nagy calling plays, but not adjusting to call them for Justin Fields. Why are you not rolling Justin Fields out of the pocket on pass plays? A guy who is very comfortable and shown that he's very good with throwing the ball on the run. Why are you calling so many pass read options in the NFL? That doesn't work in the NFL. That allowed Cincinnati to hang in there and come back into this game. If it wasn't for the defense today and how the defense scored 14 points, the Bears scored 20. So the defense today is what allowed the Bears to win this game. It was not the offense. It was not Justin Fields. He's got some room to grow. He's going to grow. He's going to be a very good quarterback in this league. He's going to learn from the things that he's done wrong. But Matt Nagy has got to be able to adjust his play calling, and I don't think he has the capability of doing that.
So, Tori, we sat here on what show is that? Wednesday when Soup Boss came in, and he's like, NFL rookie quarterbacks should start. If you're drafted week 1, you should start. Well, Justin Fields was 16 for 13 for 60 yards and an interception in the second half of football. But I gotta ask you this question. Is Andy Dalton getting hurt for the Bears a blessing in disguise?
No. I mean, the thing is it's going to be Justin Fields' team eventually, and I've said it numerous times. It's not supposed to be this season. Depending on what happened with Andy with his knee, we'll see. But they're probably going to struggle. You saw it today. They struggle with their blocking. Justin struggled quite mightily, just like another rookie quarterback did. So it's going to be some rough days ahead for Justin if he's got to play the rest of the season. And there again, the big thing I hope it doesn't do is affect him psychologically, where all of a sudden you get a little gun shy. It's like I said, you get hit enough times, you start to flinch.
Combs, you heard that. Do you think Justin Fields is going to be gun shy going into week 3?
No, and first of all, there's a couple of things in there. One, Buck, you did what you always do, and you threw some verbiage out there, and you called out, oh, well, he was 6 of 13 for 80. The play calling was terrible. And they ran the ball most of the second half because they were up and they were trying to protect the lead. So there wasn't a whole lot of throwing out there, for one. For two, they weren't allowing Justin Fields to do the things that would make Justin Fields successful in the play calling. Matt Nagy has to adjust to the play calling. If he can't do that, that's going to hold Justin Fields back. And then, Tori, he's not going to be gun shy because Justin Fields knows what he has. Justin Fields knows what he has to work with. The one thing that I did see about that interception that he threw was the way he come back into the game and didn't make the same mistake again. Same thing with the fumble. He fumbled. He had the ball in one hand. He was rolling out to the right. He had the ball in one hand as he was about to take off to run, and it got stripped. The next time that he took off the same way, he had 2 hands on the ball. He's learning from his mistakes. He's progressing like a rookie should. It's going to be a tough season for the Bears. There is going to be, you're right, there's going to be rough days ahead for Justin Fields because that offensive line is not very good, and they play some really good defenses this year on the schedule. So, yes, there is going to be some rough days ahead for Justin Fields, but it's not going to be, because he's not progressing or because he's not doing the things, to put himself in the right position. It's going to be because the people around him aren't putting him in the right position.
Okay, so Combs, not to beat a dead horse by any means, but I'm going to raise that horse from the dead and pull out my whip, and I'm going to beat it. So you just said that Matt Nagy is not adjusting to Justin Fields by his play calling, and his play calling has just been horrible. The play calling hasn't changed since week 1, so Andy Dalton has had the same play calling. But I'm saying Andy Dalton has had that same horrible play calling that Justin Fields has had. So
and he's 0-1.
Okay. But what makes you think that Andy or that Justin Fields will be doing any better than Andy Dalton is at all? Like there is
because he can do the things that Andy Dalton can't. You could see it in Andy Dalton's eyes when because Andy Dalton was right there. He was the first one to greet Justin Fields off the field. When Justin Fields was going into the game, he was the first one to go over, tell him, hey,
that's what a leader does.
You could see it in Andy Dalton's eyes that he knew that was his last snap as a Chicago Bear, because there are things that Justin Fields can do on a football field that Andy Dalton could. When Justin Fields had almost taken a sack, I believe it was like 3rd and 8, and instead he was able to escape pressure, beat the rusher on the edge, and then beat a linebacker off the edge to gain a first down. Andy Dalton was the first one there clapping, and you could tell on his face, yeah, I couldn't have done that. I would have got sacked. That is the things that Justin Fields can do that Andy Dalton can't. So yes, Justin Fields in this season with this team will be more successful than Andy Dalton will be because of the type of football that Justin Fields plays versus the type of football that Andy Dalton plays.
Tori, doesn't that just sound like a leader on the field, like with Andy Dalton clapping and cheering on a player that is in there?
It's called being a veteran presence, and that's what he's there for.
Really?
It's exactly.
To me, it sounds like Jason Garrett standing on the sidelines and clapping.
How long was Jason Garrett a head coach, though?
Yeah, how long has Jason Garrett been a successful head? Oh, never mind.
What is success in your eyes? What's success in Cowboys' eyes? A lot different, right? All right, guys, we are up. We are up against our first break here on the Man Hour. Be sure to head into pickemwars.com. That's PICKEM wars.com and sign up for free to win real money over there on the game. So be sure just so you guys know, you are picking against the spread on there. So it is a little tough sometimes, but that's why it's free and you win real money. That's pickemwars.com, and be sure to tell them that Man Hour sent you. Guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned right after this. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheischer along with Brandon BC Combs and, of course, Tori Anderson. So, guys, tonight's episode is brought to you by pick'emores.com. Head over to pick'emores.com and sign up for free to win real money on game picks over there. This segment of the Man Hour is brought to you by Blue Coolers, though. So head over to bluecoolers.com and use promo code MANHOUR, and we'll get a proper read toward the end of the thing here because I didn't bring it up. That's my bad. But it is time for Ain't No Time for That. We have not done this for a while. So, Combs, go ahead and let the people know what it is all about.
So basically, Ain't Nobody Got Time for That is just a segment where I'll bring up a couple of things that I just think ain't nobody got time for. And some things we're sick of seeing, some things we're sick of hearing about. And so then I tell the guys what it is, we talk about it for a little bit, and then we play this cool little video.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. So, boys, are you guys ready?
We are always ready for this best segment of the show. This is a fan favorite, a fan made. I mean, what cannot get better than that?
This is all about the fans. Yeah. I love it. So the first thing in Ain't Nobody Got Time for That is taunting in the NFL. That call today versus the Seattle Seahawks, plus others that I've seen throughout the league, especially today, against the Seahawks, it cost them that game. It allowed the Tennessee Titans to, instead of punt the ball, go downfield and get more points on the board. And all the guy did was defend a pass, stand up, flex, scream, and walk away. He didn't point at the guy. He didn't get in his face. He didn't stand on top of him. And they throw the flag. It makes no sense whatsoever. That has to be a reviewable play, just like I still think that a personal foul for roughing the passer or for a hit to the helmet, just like they do in college, needs to be reviewable. And taunting in the NFL is just a stupid penalty. You're telling me that in a pressure situation with the game on the line, a guy makes a great play, he's not allowed to get pumped up and excited. In the NFL, this isn't Pee-wee football. This isn't, like a high school homecoming game. This is the NFL.
You know what the NFL stands for? No Fun League.
Yeah, it's just so bad right now. Absolutely atrocious. And today it cost Seattle a game. And that's that the NFL has to step in because that stuff can't happen.
Tori, what are your thoughts?
I agree. Like there's things like that need to be reviewed, just like helmet to helmet hits. Like if you got a receiver or running back that the defender's going low and all of a sudden he ducks his head, there is nothing at that point. That defender is defenseless as to where he's going. And same thing with targeting. Like targeting in college all needs to be reviewed, which is another whole animal as well. But along the same line, stuff like that needs to be reviewed. It wasn't bad. I could see if he was in his face.
Is reviewed though.
No,
yeah, it is.
It's automatic.
Is it?
It's an automatic
every
review.
time. Yeah, it's every time it's reviewed. Yeah, it's
every single one of them. If you get
that is
called
what
for
makes
targeting,
a 5-hour
it's an
game.
automatic review.
Yeah, that's why college games are 5 hours long. But
and it should be the same thing in the NFL. Like we were talking about earlier with in the Bears game itself, when Robert Quinn's heading over to the sideline, Joe Burrow sees him, keeps running, and as he gets close to him, does a LeBron and flops and falls backwards. And yes, Quinn's got to be smarter than that. You can't get even close enough without putting your arms up to say, "Hey, I'm not doing nothing." You can't go and even look like you're about to put a shoulder into the quarterback on the sideline. So.
He had the guilty look though, because he looked down right at him right when he did it. Like it was probably more like, "What are you doing?" But it was more.
I think it was kind of a look at Joe Burrow's like, "Wow, that was actually a good move." I'll give you that one.
So
way to go, Rook.
So heading back to the taunting call. First things first is we all know the rules. Is like you're not supposed to do it anymore. Like Tyreek Hill isn't supposed to give the peace sign, so he actually had gloves that looked like a peace sign, so he just holds up his hands to people now and just gives them the peace sign that way. So I'm kind of on the fence of this one way or the other, just because you're not supposed to do it, but at the same time, Combs, you're absolutely right. It is the emotion of the game. It is your adrenaline pumping, and you're like, man, I'm gonna let out a scream and let out a flex because I've been working on these biceps. I got 22-inch arms. Like I want people to see them.
Wow.
I mean, it's just like, come on, like it is just ridiculous. Like,
it's one thing if you're going to get in the guy's face and cause a brawl or something like that.
even then, I
or
don't care. Do
something
it.
be
You're getting paid
disrespectful.
millions of dollars.
Well,
Come on.
yeah, but then I can understand the penalty coming out of it. But if you're doing something and nobody even reacts to it, why does the referee react to it? You know what I think about that stuff?
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You know what I want to know?
What's that?
Where did we
Who
get a
did?
picture? Where did we get a video of Tori dancing naked?
The same
I
place where we
mean,
got Wyatt in that
Was
brawl
that-
or
was that the
toga
toilet
or whatever. Sheesh.
All right.
That picture of
So-
Wyatt was ridiculous. I still scarred for that a little bit.
I love it. Moving on. Tom Brady is going backwards in time. He's getting younger and better as his career goes on. I am so sick and tired of Tom Brady. Tom Brady, let somebody else have a chance. Like, I don't understand. Like, how does he keep getting better? Like, every single year, it's like he's getting younger and better. How does he look? He is 7 years older than Aaron Rodgers. How does he look like Aaron Rodgers could be his grandfather? Like, that is just, it's ridiculous to me how good the guy goes out there today, throws for another 400 yards, another 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and just does Tom Brady things and leads the Buccaneers to a huge victory. I don't, is there anything that is going to stop Tom Brady other than retirement and Giselle?
No, the only thing that's ever going to stop Tom Brady is a divorce. Because let's just be honest, the reason why he is so young is that blue pill and that hot ass wife that he has. I mean, I would be taking 2 of those things a night. Like, let's just be flat and honest. And just the simple fact that he looks better than Aaron freaking Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers looks like he just like rolled out of bed and doesn't care. Like,
And
Tom Brady
monetized.
And Tom Brady also doesn't eat bread either, per those Subway commercials. But I mean, obviously the only thing that is going to stop Tom Brady is him bringing talent in around him. Because, you consistently see people wanting to go to Tampa Bay and take pay cuts now and just play with Tom and get in the ring. So, I mean, obviously Tom is great, but the only thing that could stop him is the fact that, the talent would stop coming, I think, in the end.
Yeah, the only thing that stops Tom Brady is Tom Brady at this point. Like, I agree. Like, the guy he's just like, yeah, it's another, hey, great game, guys. Good job. Like, I didn't even realize that what they say, like, that was Gronk's 100th touchdown catch, I think, today from Brady.
Yeah.
Including the postseason. Like,
That's ridiculous.
He's 29.
Yeah.
And he sat out a year.
Yep. Year and a half. Yeah.
So that is insane. Insane. Tom Brady is immortal. He's immortal.
Yeah.
Like,
Here's the thing about Tom Brady. Okay. Here's why I hate Tom Brady.
Because you're not a Patriots fan.
He wins championship after championship after championship. So he's got more Super Bowls and he's been to more Super Bowls and he's won more Super Bowls than any quarterback in quarterback history. Then afterwards, he gets to go home to his multi-million-dollar mansion, which he's probably got like 5 of them. And he gets to take Giselle, his beautiful supermodel wife, into any room he chooses to do whatever he wants. No man deserves to be that happy.
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Wait, when did that get added in?
that's been there for the whole time. We just always cut it short. But
Yeah.
we'll at the last one, we're gonna play the whole video.
It's like 2 minutes long.
We're gonna move on here. This one is gonna be. Have you guys seen the video from last night's San Diego Padres game? Fernando Tatis gets ejected after arguing balls and strikes, and Manny Machado confronts him in the dugout and is yelling at him. This isn't about you. This isn't just you. Blah blah blah. Well, this isn't me gonna go off on Manny Machado. This is gonna be me going off on all the people on social media saying Manny Machado has no business yelling at Fernando Tatis. What has Manny Machado done? Well, how about in the 3 years that Fernando Tatis has been in the league, in the 3 years since Manny Machado has signed that huge extension, Manny Machado has only a 6-point less batting average, has only 6 less home runs, but has over 60 more RBIs and has probably, I think it's close to like 80 less strikeouts. That's what Manny Machado has done. Manny Machado is a leader in this clubhouse. Manny Machado has been in the league way longer than Fernando Tatis has. But because Fernando Tatis is the young star, and I love Fernando Tatis, but because he's the young star, because he's the flamboyant guy, because he's, everybody's little darling and everybody's little baby. Oh, you can't yell at him. To hell with that. Manny Machado absolutely should have yelled at Fernando Tatis. Not only are you guys in the middle of trying to get it back into the wild card race, which again, this weekend you're playing against the team that you're chasing in the wild card race, and you have a meltdown like that, that's absolutely unacceptable. Those are things that you can't do if you're Fernando Tatis. If you want to be the guy that everybody wants you to be. Excuse me. So Manny Machado puts him in his place. And that's absolutely what he is supposed to do as the leader in that clubhouse. So for all those people that think that Manny Machado should have just kept his mouth shut, I say you keep your damn mouth shut.
Tori, go ahead.
I completely missed this. Did this happen last night?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even get to see this. So I know absolutely nothing about this because I did not get to watch it because on Sundays, I don't flip anything on but the NFL Network. I don't watch. It's nothing. It's football season on Sunday. There's nothing else going on my TV. It flips from NFL Network to Red Zone back to the NFL Network.
So Combs, here's what the problem is like people are failing to see is like such and such is yelling at such and such player. But here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the Padres have a $161 million payroll for 2021. The Kansas City Royals have a $79 million payroll for the 2021 season. At this current rate that they're at, they're both going to be at the home at the same time. One's not going to, and they're both not going to make the playoffs. So the Padres literally wasted $161 million, and I think Manny Machado is seeing this, and he's like, man, we're paying a lot of money to be just as good as the Royals are. We are awesome, Army boys. Like. It's stupid.
Yeah, but see, the Padres ownership went and spent their money in the wrong places. There's no pitching whatsoever on this team. I mean, minus Yu Darvish, they've got nothing. There's no good
Joe
pitching.
Musgrove took a huge step back this year.
Yeah, he took it. Yeah, for sure. And Blake Snell has not been that great in San Diego. So
should have never traded Zach Davies.
They are not a very good team on the pitching side of the ball. They're scoring runs. They're doing the things they got to do. Manny Machado is batting .276 this year with 24 home runs and 93 RBIs. He's not having a bad year. He's having a pretty damn good year. Friggin' Fernando Tatis is batting almost 300. He's got, I believe he's 18 or 19 home runs as well. He's having a good year. Like, they're doing all right offensively. They just spent their money in the wrong places. And you want to compare them to Kansas City. I'll take San Diego over the next 10 years as opposed to Kansas City. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know. We'll see.
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I love that video.
I thought you were gonna play the whole thing.
I didn't take it off.
I didn't take it off either.
Did you shorten it?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll try it again after this last one.
Okay.
So this one here is what gonna look. I don't know about you guys, but in the NBA, I don't watch very much NBA regular season anyway. But when the game is on TNT, I definitely don't watch. I can't stand half of their guys on the pregame show. I can't stand half of their announcers. And now TNT is getting the NHL. And I'm a big NHL guy. I love the NHL. I'm going to watch a lot of hockey this season. But TNT getting their games is going to cause me to probably not watch some games. They're already talking about Chris Chelios is going to be a big part of it. I don't like Chris Chelios. I can't stand Chris Chelios. I don't care if he is
arrogant.
a Black Hawk Hall of Famer.
Arrogant.
I would punch him straight in his damn mouth. I cannot stand Chris Chelios. And I played hockey with his son, by the way. His son sucks. Anyway, the TNT, they just find a way to ruin things. And I think they're going to ruin the NHL too.
Tori?
Just like baseball misses the point on like everything.
Yeah.
Like
basically, yeah.
I don't know. NHL's trying to expand the brand. Like, what was it? Like the mid to late 90s to me was kind of like their that was kind of like their coming out where like when the Rangers were winning cups, like when they got them to and they broke
because they were all
spell.
over ESPN too.
Right,
ESPN was covering the game. They're back to covering them too. ESPN's back covering them as well.
And you had awesome people like Darren Payne. Like I used to love watching Darren Payne.
Yes.
So I think they're trying to get back to that, and at this point, they're doing whatever they can to try to make hockey a little bit more relevant in fans' eyes again. Like, what are of all the major sports in America? What are the two least watched ones? NASCAR and hockey.
Yep.
So,
and
both of them are struggling for numbers.
If TNT can do one thing right, it would be go out and get Gary Thorne back to calling hockey games. Because when Gary Thorne was calling hockey games for ESPN, I loved watching hockey on ESPN. I love Gary Thorne as an announcer. Now he's out there calling Baltimore Orioles games. I bet you can swing him away from calling those dreadful Baltimore Orioles games and say, hey, why don't you come call some hockey for us over here at TNT? I think that'd be a great move for TNT. I think that's about the only way that they could draw me in, though. I can't see them doing anything else that will draw me into the NHL. Buck, do you have any thoughts on the NHL?
Yeah, like on the flip side of this.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, see, you must have edited that video. Probably.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. We are powered by Belly Up Sports. You can find us on Belly Up Sports every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. right there on their Facebook page and, of course, Unhinged Radio as well, which they are part of the Belly Up Sports Network as well. This segment of the show is brought to you by Skull Candy. Skull Candy, true wireless earbuds and speakers and more. Visit skullcandy.com. Discover life at full volume with headphones, earbuds, speakers, and much more. Skull Candy is your one-stop shop for new music, culture, and audio built in. Hashtag stay loud. Go to skullcandy.com and use promo code ManHourRadio to receive 20% off of your purchase. So, guys, let's go ahead and welcome the boys back onto the show here.
Skull Candy. Isn't that what Tori puts in when he has a big lipper in? Skull, isn't that what that's called?
It is, but this is Skull Candy, like the headphones. I got mine on order, and they'll be here next week. So, with all that being said, guys, we've been talking a lot of Sunday night football here, but now it is time to preview the Monday night game. Obviously, we have the Detroit Lions traveling to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. So I got to ask you guys this cool question. I'm going to kick it to Mr. Tori Anderson first. Tori, we know you are a Green Bay Packers fan, but how can the Detroit Lions win on Monday night versus the Green Bay Packers?
Play good defense, control the ball, feed Jamal Williams all game long, and keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers. Keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. That's your best bet for them to win the game, is keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. Otherwise, it's going to be handed over to a very upset with last week's performance, Aaron Rodgers.
So are you saying like 20, 30 carries for the Lions offense and just very little passing, or nickel and dime down the field?
No, you're not. Honestly, I don't think you have to nickel and dime the defense. The Packers had put Zadarius Smith on IR this week.
Yeah.
That's your best pass rusher. So, you're going to have Preston Smith on one side. You're going to have Rashawn Gary, who's actually a really good pass rusher, on the other. But you're still down a key piece to your defense. So it's going to open things up. It's going to make it a little bit easier for the Lions. I think the Lions are going to have a little bit easier time moving the ball down the field on us without Zadarius in there. But it's still it should be a formidable defense for them to try to score on.
So without that strong pass rush that player brings, does that put Kevin King out on an island and Jared Goff can isolate him?
Jared Goff can't isolate anybody. Let's just be honest.
Okay. That's a good one.
All right.
I didn't know if you were serious or not there.
I'm very serious. Jared Goff is going to go light it up against your Green Bay Packers alike, I think.
Just please promise me you don't do anything stupid tomorrow.
I'm wearing my Packers jersey, so don't worry about that. Sheesh. You guys don't have to worry about that. Even if I get to go. But, Combs, on the other side of the coin, obviously the Packers are at home facing a not so good Detroit Lions team, even though they will go 10-7 this season. How can the Green Bay Packers win on Monday night?
Show up. I mean,
every time you say this, the team gets destroyed. I'm just going to put that out there.
What they have to do is they have to stop Jamal Williams, contain Jamal Williams, and force Jared Goff to beat you. That's the best way to win this game. And let Aaron Rodgers just do his thing. Let Aaron Rodgers do what he does and have a bounce back game, because it's not very often that we can say Aaron Rodgers had a bad game, right?
Right.
Last week he had a bad game, and the Green Bay Packers had a bad game. And so he's going to bounce back. There's nothing that would ever in the history of his career show me that he's not going to bounce back. He's going to have a bounce back game. They're going to play well. They've just got to, if they contain Jamal Williams, force Jared Goff to beat you, Goff's going to make his mistakes. That Packers defense is good enough to capitalize. Their one weakness is stopping the run. However, I don't believe Jamal Williams or that Detroit Lions offensive line is really too much to handle. So that's the key for the Packers.
Combs and Tori both, like Combs, I want to kick it to you first here. Do you see the Packers throwing throwing the ball 50, 60 times like in this game?
I'd say probably about 40 is about right, because I think by the middle of the third quarter, all they'll need to do is run clock out. I think that they're going to win this one big. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a 4 or 5 touchdown performance, and I think he's just. I think by the first half, this game's already going to be over, and anybody who's not at the stadium can just go to bed because they don't have to watch the rest of the game, other than Tori and Wyatt, because they'll stay up and watch them anyway, just because their team's winning and they want to brag about it the next day on the radio.
Are you kidding me? I'm old now. Like I'm like. We get done with the show, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. Night, guys.
But
I'll be the same tomorrow night. Game will be going on, and I'll be like, good night.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games where Aaron Rodgers does his thing. The Detroit Lions are not very good, despite what Buck is going to try to tell you here when he gets on the mic. Detroit is not very good. Jared Goff, if you force Jared Goff to beat you, he's going to make a lot of mistakes, and you're going to be able to take the ball away from him and give your offense, which is very good, more attempts to put the ball in the end zone.
Tori, are they going to be a pass happy tomorrow night, or Monday night, I should say?
I'm trying to remember what the stats were. Aaron Rodgers is something like 14 or 15-1 after a loss of like 10 points or more, and has thrown like, I don't know, it's like 40 some touchdowns and like 2 interceptions. Wow. So I think they're going to look for a rhythm. It's going to go early and often against the Lions.
What's
and
the
they
rhythm?
are going to
hand the ball off.
No, the rhythm is going to be to find just consistency on the offensive end. They had none last week. Like the run pass balance was out of whack because you were down so much right away. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit more consistency. They're going to try to get Aaron Jones going, run a little bit more play action, try to get a good flow going with Aaron and those receivers, because they're still trying to get on the same page. None of them played together during the preseason.
So, question stands right here, gentlemen. Who do you guys got winning Monday night, and what's the score?
I'm gonna go. Let's go old school. What were they called? The super fans, the Bears super fans. I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers 37. Detroit Lions -3. Aaron will find a way.
Tori?
Packers taking this one all the way. Whatever the spread is, take the spread. I'm going to say the Packers 34, Lions 14.
Tori, I do like your score there, but I want you to flip it there a little bit. The score is going to be 43-14, and the home team is going to be struggling all night. They're just not going to find any type of rhythm whatsoever, because the starters will be out after the first quarter, and they're going to thump the Detroit Lions. Sadly, the Green Bay Packers are going to win this game.
You can't even stick with your own team, the team that you're so high on, 10-7. What are they going to go 0-7? Then go 10-0.
They still can go 10-7. It's just this Monday night game is not theirs. I mean, if the Packers would have won, I would have probably picked a closer game, 28-27 type score with the Lions favorite. But unfortunately, stats do not lie.
But they got Baltimore next week too. I'm probably not going to pick them next week either. So they're going to be 0-3.
The Chiefs are whooping the Ravens' ass right now. I just want to put it out there.
According to Buck math, that means the Lions will go 10-4 down the stretch.
Yeah. Hey.
No, they're going to go 0-7, then go 10-0. That's what's going to happen.
Hey, there's a chance, there's a way, right? So before we head to our next break here, guys.
That saying goes.
You got to flip it around and make it interesting.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, whatever. So before we head to our next break and jump into some more sports headlines here, guys. Javier says, when are you guys coming to Miami to do a show? People ask me why this show is so real.
Hey, Javier, I'll tell you what, we're going to make a bet because you keep wanting to bet. How about this? Let's make a bet on next week Miami Dolphins game like you wanted to bet this week. Instead of betting money,
not taking my money.
we will bet that if the Miami Dolphins lose next week, you fly us down to Miami and we'll do a show down in Miami. How about that?
There you go. Or just even pay for gas. Like, we'll all carpool down.
pay for gas. We're just going to get a van.
No, I got an SUV.
Yeah, I got an SUV too.
Yeah. We're good.
7 passenger. We could lay down the back row there.
Yeah.
Tori can take his naps because, that's what he needs to do.
Check his blood sugar every half hour.
Don't-
He's eating so much candy on the way down.
Make sure I take my Centrum Silver and my Metamucil.
Sure. Is that old
Andrew
man
Blue
talk?
Pill.
All right, guys, we are up against the next break here. We'll be right back after this short little break. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buck along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson tonight. You can find us all on the old Twitter machine at manhour_Buck, manhour_Combs, and manhour_Tori, as we are pretty much very active on there now moving forward here. We are going to bring up some shop talk here, guys, so let me go ahead and bring the guys back onto the screen here. And Combs, take it away, big guy.
And as always, you guys know how this segment works. It's Shop Talk. We are going to talk about some things that are... God, that music is loud. Holy cow. Buck, what did you do? Andy walked away.
What? Hello.
What is going on right now? All right.
I know.
So it's Shop Talk.
I think he said it on the volume button.
Oh my God. And he walked away and we can't even control it. You think maybe we can mute his... Oh, there we go. Look at that. Did that work for you?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Look.
Why are my ears ringing?
Because we can't hear nothing. Holy cow. Can you guys still hear the music over on the chat? Let me know if you guys can still hear the music. If so, then I'll throw something at Buck when he comes through. But anyway, Tori, I know you're not really facing your TV. You don't have your setup the same way I got mine, but I can see the setup behind me. And this Kansas City-Baltimore game is already high-flying. A lot of pieces moving. The last couple of series, though, have kind of died down. Kansas City's up 14-7, back and forth. There was a great pass from Mahomes to McCole Hardman that was just unbelievable in the back of the end zone. But I don't know, who did you have in this game?
I actually took the Ravens because it's their home opener.
Yeah.
So, I kind of thought they would put up a little bit better fight than what it sounds like is going on right now. So
Well, they're not putting up too much. I mean, it's 14-7. There's 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. I mean, it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. Lamar threw a pick in the red zone, so that's kind of a Debbie Downer. But
no. Next time we go to break, I'm gonna have to change the channel now. I was gonna do that during this break, but I completely whiffed it. So
yeah, so I have Kansas City winning this game, just mainly because it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes, much in the same way that it's hard to bet against Tom Brady. So I didn't bet against Patty Mahomes, so that's why I took Patrick Mahomes. How are you doing in your picks this week? I know we've got our Wheel of Death coming up. How are you doing in your picks?
for our stuff or for
our stuff, for the Wheel of Death.
I don't know. I don't even look. What is it under?
I'm 11-2, so I mean you can't be. I'm sure you're probably not much better than that. I can look.
No,
I could find out
because it's under the ESPN stuff that we do our baseball, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Pigskin Pick'em. We should get paid by ESPN.
Hey,
by
Buck, when you left this time, you left that music so loud.
My bad.
We had to mute you so we didn't hear it. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Well,
I am.
So the joke's on you is you wouldn't mute that because like you can still.
I am 10-4 on my picks.
Over there. Yep. See, I'm 11. How are you 10-4 if I'm 11-2? There's only 13 games that have been played.
Oh, it says 12 week 2, 10-4.
I'm so confused right now. Hold on. Maybe I.
Did you forget to pick a game?
I don't think so. Week 2, I have 110 points. How many points do you have? Where do you see 10-4? I don't even see my week 2 record.
It says I have 100. It says I have 100 points.
Okay, I have 110 points. So, it really looks like, to be honest with you, like, what are we doing with Wyatt? Is Wyatt just going to have to spin the Wheel of Death with
like every week
until he picks?
I mean, he knows that
I like that idea. We're gonna yell at them when he comes on the show tonight too, because he to me it looks like right now Buck is going to
I got 70
end
points.
up spinning the Wheel of Death this week. There is no way that Buck can come back and win.
Nope.
So Buck is going to spin the inaugural Wheel of Death. How do you feel about that, Buck?
I feel kind of nervous because if I have to film me breaking up with Cindy, I may not come back from Green Bay. I'm just going to throw it out there.
I thought we took that out.
Did we?
We have to. Come on. I don't want to die in my sleep. Do you want to die in your sleep? This isn't fair.
I'm not going to die in my sleep.
Even have somebody to break up with.
She's going to take a hatchet and do it right through my skull on camera.
But Tori doesn't have anybody to break up with. And we know Wyatt wouldn't do it. Wyatt would shave his head before he did that.
No. I think he would do that before he shaved his head.
But he would would tell Nikki via forehand.
Dude,
like, hey,
he way outkicked his coverage on that one. Let's be honest. Yeah. Let's be honest. I love Wyatt today.
I think instead of asking for a divorce from your significant other, or they tell them that you're breaking up with them, maybe you should just ask her to say.
I say we do the crack an egg challenge.
I say. Ask them whatever their best friend's name is and say we should have a threesome.
No.
Stop.
No.
See, now you're just getting You're trying to get us killed. Why are you trying to get us?
Right.
See, I think one that could still get us killed, but could also give us a chance to still live would be the crack the egg challenge on your spouse.
Cindy uses.
Do you know what the crack the egg challenge is?
She uses egg in her hair anyway, so it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, so if you just go in and you smash an egg on her head, I mean, I'm telling you right now, like I am chancing losing my life if I try to crack an egg on Michelle's head.
Hey, I'm curious. What games did you guys pick that I didn't pick? I mean, because like first things first is I forgot to pick the Thursday night game. I
so
forgot to
your
push
first loss.
Yeah, like I forgot to push the submit.
But right, so let's go through it real quick then.
But I picked the Browns, which
I picked the Browns too.
Tori, you got the Browns right?
Yeah.
Yep. And I picked the Bills. You picked the Dolphins.
Yeah, I did. I was
I
hoping
picked
for
the
an
Bills.
upset. Okay,
Yep.
so there's one.
I picked the Patriots. You picked the Jets.
I picked the
Didn't
Patriots.
you?
No,
Okay,
I
so
picked
we were all on
Patriots,
the Patriots. I picked the Niners. Did anybody pick the Eagles?
No,
No, I don't think any of us
Okay.
did.
I picked the Raiders.
I picked the Steelers.
I picked Steelers too.
Yep. So I was the only one that won on that one. I had the Saints. That was one of my losses.
I had the Panthers.
Did you? I had the Saints. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I had the Broncos. Did anybody have the Jags?
No,
Nope.
I had the Rams. Did anybody have the Colts?
I did. I thought they were.
Yeah,
I
gonna
know.
pull
I
it.
had,
There's your
I had
other
the, I had the Rams.
Okay, so there's
I had
right
the
there is where I
Bengals.
lost. Yeah,
I had the Bengals. Did anybody pick the Bears?
Yeah, I picked the Bengals too.
yeah, we
Yeah.
all picked the Bengals.
I picked the Cardinals. Did anybody pick the Vikes?
No,
And I picked the Buccaneers. Did anybody pick the Falcons?
no. 2%
I
of
picked the
America did
Cowboys.
though.
Did anybody pick the Chargers?
No,
I did.
Tori picked the Chargers. And then I picked the Seahawks. Did anybody pick the Titans?
no. I thought they were going to be a bust this season. Honestly,
Yeah, I didn't think that. Look, I'm telling you right now, Derrick Henry kept that team in that game.
yeah.
Like without Derrick Henry, this team is garbage. Without Derrick Henry, really, I was watching that
Yeah.
game the entire way, and when they were down, what did they do? Instead of most teams, when you're down, you're passing the ball. When they're down, they're handing it more to Derrick Henry, and they know it's coming, and they still can't stop him.
Well, they actually did a great job on him in the first half. Like they
In the
would,
first half, yes.
they would hand him the ball and they were right there hitting him in the mouth. And then the second half it went womp womp.
Did he wear him down? Did the defense get
I
tired
think so.
of trying to chase him down?
Wouldn't you try to take down like a 250-pound man time after time again?
Have you guys addressed this
solid rock.
Combs Jr. Comment yet?
No,
I-
which one?
He says
haven't looked at it.
he says I come back to watch, and I thought Buck would have gotten smarter during the NFL offseason. Damn, I was wrong. Alrighty.
Go ahead, Buck. Get him.
No.
He's 18.
Is he?
He's about to be 18. So
Okay.
you can go and get him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, by the time I get up to New Hampshire, he'll probably be 18, right?
Yeah.
I'll hitch my way up there.
I've got that thing. Don't talk none, won't be none. So
I'm
go
the
get 'em, Buck.
smartest man alive. You guys know that. Sheesh.
Yeah,
Come
and
on.
then you said Lions 10-7.
The season's not over yet. Season's still young, Combsy. Still
You're-
young.
Yeah. No, you hang
Like-
on to that all you want, but talk to me when they're 0-11.
Bucks K-State's 3-0, and I'm surprised you're not talking about them being in the college football playoff yet.
See, the Big 12 always gets screwed in the college football playoff. The only way
Because
they
your
That's
division
because they're not
sucks.
good.
the only way they got a chance is if it's a big name like Oklahoma or Texas. Let's just be honest.
And Texas isn't even that
Texas
big of a
is
name
trash
anymore.
too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Hey.
like Iowa State, they're done because they lost to Iowa last week or 2 weeks ago. So
And Oklahoma didn't even show up against Nebraska. They barely escaped with that victory. this
see,
weekend.
Nebraska's kind of a weird wild card. It is like they seem to play to the talent that is like on the field. So they play up or play down to their competition. I think.
I don't know
No.
why they haven't been good enough to play up or down to anything in the
Right,
last
the Badgers.
20 years.
The Badgers hang 70 spots on them pretty consistently.
Well, because the
Yeah.
Badgers aren't very good.
We dropped 70 points on them, and we're not very
the
good.
Perkins School for the Blind drops 110 on them every year.
Right?
That's 112 actually. She gets ridiculous.
They
But
get
guys-
caught in them cornfields.
We are up against our next break. On the other side of the break, we're going to get back into some more Week 2 NFL talk here. We are going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Chargers. We're going to talk about Carolina beating the Saints down, the Patriots beating the Jets as well, and we got Wyatt Wines coming up as well. Brand new segment here at the end of the show. Wyatt Wines is coming up as well. The next segment, guys, is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. So head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR and the match up to $50 on your first deposit. That is promo code MANHOUR. You can also download it on thrivefantasy.com. You can also download that on Android and iOS devices. We'll be right back after this.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson. If you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, be sure to head over to manhourradio.com and watch the podcast forum, or you can also download that on iOS and Android devices, or you can simply head over to youtube.com/manhour and hit the subscribe button. We do upload clips every day of the week, 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. East Coast time, Sunday through Sunday. Let's go ahead and welcome the guys back onto the show here. We are going to wrap up our NFL 2 recap show here on this Sunday night, as we are live on YouTube from Sunday to Thursday every day at 8 p.m. So, guys, the next game that we are going to talk about are the Carolina Panthers beating down the New Orleans Saints today. Yes, the Saints were down 8 coaches. Yes, they were down several other players because of COVID protocols, but they still lost today, 26-7. So, Combs, Winston is your guy here. Is Winston just a flash in the pan from week 1, or is week 2 the Winston that we know and love?
I mean, they only gave him the ball 22 times to put in his hands, right? They did not allow him to open it up. They're doing the things that aren't able to make him successful, right? So I'm not saying it's a play calling thing. I'm not saying it's Sean Payton's thing, but I think right now, the thing with the Saints is that they are afraid to let Jameis Winston make a mistake. And so that is hindering what they're doing. The fact that you lost a game 25-7 and you only attempted 22 passes. I mean, we talk about the Tennessee Titans holding on and forcing Derrick Henry to do too much. I think you're asking Alvin Kamara to do too much at that point. You're losing a game that big and you only attempt 22 passes. There's something there. And maybe it's the coaching staff, maybe it's the players they were missing, all the stuff that they've been going through with the COVID, even the interception that he threw, Jameis Winston. He was trying to make something happen, and when they were down big, I mean, he threw up a desperation heave that got picked off. So it's not like he was making bad reads or doing things, poorly. He was doing things the right way. They just weren't allowing him to open it up. And I for the life of me, I just don't understand what the heck went on with New Orleans today.
Yeah, and on the other side of that hand, Winston was their leading rusher for 3 carries for 19 yards. So obviously they're not an offensive juggernaut by any means this week. Tori, we've heard Combs say that Winston is a top 10 quarterback time and time again. And week 1, we saw him throw 5 touchdowns. Cool. This week, he threw 2 interceptions for 111 yards. Which Jameis Winston are we going to see week 3?
A blend of the two? One touchdown, 2 interceptions again? Wait, who do they play in week 3?
Let's see here. Let's see who they play week 3. I don't have that pulled up. Give me a second. They play the Patriots at New England.
Ooh.
That's a win.
That's a win for the Patriots or the Saints?
No, for the Saints.
We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Taking on Belichick in his own backyard, though. No, I think the Patriots have one of the best defenses in the league. They will be ready for them. I think we're going to see more of week 2 Jameis than we do week 1. Week 1, Jameis played a terrible defense. Terrible defense.
Horrible.
That's just horrible. So, and you say he was trying to make something happen. No, he was under pressure. He didn't want to take the sack. He just decided to chuck it up. Granted, you're already down pretty big at that point. However, that's not a play. Sean Payton called a hell of a game for Winston last week, and Winston stayed inside that game plan. He didn't stay inside the game plan this week. And you saw the adverse effects of it, where
what
he threw
was
5
the game
touchdowns.
plan? What was the game? You're down 20. You lose the game 25-7. You throw the ball 22 times. What is the game plan there?
To not let Jameis Winston lose you the game, but he did anyways.
Well, you're not allowing them to let you give you the attempt to win the game either, though, if you're only throwing the ball 22 times. I mean, granted, they didn't. Look, Carolina did a great job of controlling the clock as well. So, I mean, the Saints just didn't have the ball a ton either. But 22 pass attempts? 22 in a losing effort. That's not a lot. You're putting too much on the run game at that point.
And what did he have? 111 yards?
Yeah.
He had 111 yards. He was
11
sacked 4 times. He had 31 pressures.
Yeah, they brought
pressures.
the heat on him all day long.
I mean, I don't know. You look at the rushing attempts. They had 17 rush attempts, and they had 22. So they had 39 total plays today. 39 plays. That's not a whole lot.
No.
I mean, so the Saints didn't have the ball a ton. Carolina did a much better job. They controlled the time of possession. They did the things that they needed to do to win. They took New Orleans out of their game plan. I'm just not so sure what New Orleans' game plan was when you look at everything, when you watch the game. I'm not sure what they were trying to do. As Baltimore just tied up the game, by the way.
Yeah, but also on the flip side of that coin, just like you said, Combs, they only had 39 offensive like plays. The Dallas Cowboys attempted 39 passes in just the second quarter alone. So let's just go ahead and put that into perspective moving forward here. But to stay on this topic here of this game, Tori, have we been overlooking the Carolina Panthers though? Like, are they maybe a sneaky good team after beating a division rival like the way they did today?
I mean, we got to look at them. They're 2-0. They won last week. They won this week. So we might have to start putting the radar on them. And if you saw what they did today, if you were watching the game, it was pretty basic. Give it to CMC as many times as you can, whether it be in the run game or in the pass game, and it opens up literally the rest of your offense.
Right.
People don't realize that there are some weapons outside of CMC in Carolina. You have DJ Moore, you have Robbie Anderson, you have two pretty good receivers that nobody's heard of, unless you're a fantasy football player.
You've got a quarterback in Sam Darnold that is a pretty damn good quarterback. He's just spent his entire career with the New York Jets. People are like, oh, well, I heard it today on one of the shows at halftime of the 3:00 game where they're like, wow, Sam Darnold looks like a totally different quarterback. Well, no kidding. He doesn't have the Jets organization or the Jets coaching staff holding him back. Yes, he looks good. He's got a running game. He's got an okay defense. They're going to be able to make plays. Now, did we sleep on them? Maybe a little bit, but not like I had them at 4-13. Maybe they're better than 4-13, but they're not. I mean, I think 7 wins here for the Carolina Panthers is still the ceiling.
Tori, do you think 7 wins is the ceiling for them after these first 2 weeks, the way they looked?
No. I'm kind of looking forward to when they got to play the Buccaneers now, because I think they're the second best team in that division right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So honestly,
who are you going to put ahead of them?
Yeah,
that's what I'd put. Even though they beat New Orleans today, I'd still put New Orleans ahead of them.
See, but the Panthers have put out a recipe for winning a lot of games, and that is keeping the other team's offense off of the field. When you only run 39 offensive like plays, you are not going to win a lot of ball games.
And their out-of-division schedule is tough, man. I mean, I know Minnesota's 0-2, but Minnesota's pretty damn good. They've got to play the Cowboys. Yep. They've got to play the Patriots and the Cardinals and in Buffalo. Like, this is not a very easy schedule. I still think 7 wins for this team, I think, is still high expectations.
Yeah, but how do you beat those 3 teams that, like you just named, the Vikings, the Cardinals, and the Cowboys? Keep their offenses.
You have to gunsling with them.
No. You keep their offenses off of the field. They can sling the ball all they want. They can score in 3 or 4 plays, but their defense is right back on there. And those teams' defense, as in the Cowboys and the Vikings, are not very good, and they're going to be tired.
What those teams do, and I hear what you're saying, but what those teams do better than what the Saints did today is that those teams keep hanging with you and those teams keep punching you in the mouth. So you go ahead and you have a 15-play drive and you're trying to keep Tom Brady off the field, or you're trying to keep, Josh Allen off the field. They're going to go back and score in 2 plays and run you back out there. And then you're like, all right, now we're going to run another 15-play drive and we're going to score again. Now they're scoring again in another 2 to 3 plays down the field. And that's what those offenses are capable of doing. That honestly, the New Orleans Saints aren't capable of doing. The New Orleans Saints have to sustain long drives. They have to push the ball down the field. They have to run 9 to 10 play drives to put the ball in the end zone. They're not a high flying offense.
Wouldn't a top 10 quarterback in the league be able to do that though?
If he has the weapon, sure. But Michael Thomas is still hurt. He did not play today.
Right.
They still don't have the weapons. And your best weapon, other than your quarterback, is your running back at that point. So you're either running the ball or you're throwing dump screens. So that's where I'm saying you've got to run, 9 to 10 plays down the field. Those other offenses have a Stephon Diggs. Those other offenses have a Tom Brady and a Rob Gronkowski and everybody else that they have over there in Tampa Bay. Those are the things that are a lot different than what the Saints threw at them. I just don't think that they can do those things to those teams either. Plus, those other teams also have better defenses than what the Saints have as well.
Yeah. So speaking of good defenses, we kind of seen a defense battle, well, actually more of a ref battle here in Los Angeles. The Dallas Cowboys did beat the Chargers 20-17 on a last-second field goal to seal the game here. So Brandon BC Combs, I'm going to kick it to you here first. Dak Prescott only threw 27 times today, and the Cowboys really exploited that running game. Tony Pollard was the leading rusher for 13 carries for 109 yards with 1 touchdown. Now that we've seen the Cowboys throw the ball all over the field and then kind of be a well-balanced offense, do you think the Dallas Cowboys are a very dangerous team moving forward now that we've seen them play two styles of offensive games?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Dallas Cowboys, I thought ahead of the season were a very tough team. And Dak Prescott going 23 for 27. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He did have the interception, but that was a tip. That was, a thing that probably really should have been caught. He had a couple of passes that really should have been caught. He had one wide open down in the end zone that went straight through his wide receiver's hands that probably could have put more points up on the board. Justin Herbert didn't look spectacular today. He threw 2 interceptions. He did throw for 338 yards. Their run game needs to get it going, though. Tony Pollard cannot be your leading rusher when you have Ezekiel Elliott on the team. Something like that happening is not. I think if that is a continuing trend for the Dallas Cowboys, I think they're in more trouble than they are good. And Ezekiel Elliott, a lot of the times he's in there, he's picking up blitzes, he's doing a lot of pass blocking, he's doing all of that stuff. They're not handing him the ball, and you're going to end up with a not very happy Ezekiel Elliott, which we've already seen is not good in the locker room. That could really implode what they're trying to build here in Dallas. I think Dallas is a good team. I think that they can overcome the little obstacles that they're going. I think they should have beaten the Chargers by a little bit more than what they did today. But I think they're in good shape, especially in a very weak NFC East division.
So, Tori, we've heard BC Combs say that Zeke needs to lead this team in rushing week in and week out for them to be successful. Tony Pollard leading the way is not a recipe for wins. Do you agree with that at all?
Did you watch the game?
I did.
Tony Pollard was busting off big run after big run after big. Tony Pollard's the reason that they won this game today. It's not in spite of Tony Pollard. He is the reason that they won. Right now, he looks like a better running back than Zeke does. Zeke at one point had 12 carries for 36 yards.
Right.
It's a 3-yard average. Zeke right now is like a Mark Ingram type back. He's your short yardage back. I will tell you right now, they are better off with Tony Pollard, in my opinion, on the field right now than with Zeke Elliott, because Tony Pollard has the home run threat every time he touches the ball. Zeke runs it right now, and you watch him run, it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Is Zeke hurt? Do you think Zeke's hurt?
Feeling-wise, maybe.
He definitely doesn't look as in shape as he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a reason why he's not the featured back in this offense. I mean, when you look at the stats and you look at his numbers, ever since he's been in this league, there hasn't really been a running back better than Ezekiel Elliott. So now all of a sudden he's disappeared, and they're not even using them the same way they used to. Is it a scheme thing because now they have a new coaching staff as of last year? Is it now they're using a new scheme so Zeke doesn't fit in their scheme and Tony Pollard does? Is that what's going on? Tori, I see you shaking your head yes here. Is that what's going on here?
I've dealt with this McCarthy thing for a long time, so it absolutely is. McCarthy's scheme calls for a faster, sleeker back that can still pick up blitzes, and that's where it's a struggle. Where Tony Pollard's obviously a lot smaller than Zeke is, but he can still pick up some of those blitzes if he's not running out for like a screen pass or whatever. You know, Tony Pollard actually fits McCarthy's offense 1,000 times better than what Zeke does.
So
I think a tell for the Cowboys.
In about 3 weeks, you're going to hear Zeke sounding the alarm bells.
Could that be a tell for the Cowboys, though? If Zeke's in the game, it's probably 90-10 that it's a pass play because he's in there to pick up the blitz and pass block for Dak?
It could be with the ball getting sprinkled. So I think, what did he finish with? Excuse me, what did he finish with?
He had 16 carries and 71 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't a bad day by any means, but
but Tony Pollard hit like 3 carries and had like 70 yards.
He had 14 carries for 109 yards.
Yeah. But also on the flip side of that, when Tony Pollard came into the league in 2019, I believe it was, that was the year that Zeke sat out the first, the whole offseason because he wanted that big contract deal. And I believe it was the first 2 or 3 games of the season, Tony Pollard balled out. Like, he was 120, 130 yards in those games. And I think that's why Zeke ultimately came back sooner than what he wanted to because he's like, man, this guy is better than me. Like, he's gunning for my job. And guys, we have all sat here on the Man Hour many, many, many times, and people were saying that, the running backs now are a dime a dozen, and you always want to have that 1-2 punch. This is the perfect 1-2 punch for the Tony Pollard and Zeke. Like you got your smaller shifty back versus your larger back that's going to get you 5 or 6 yards.
I like Tony Pollard. I like what Tony Pollard's doing. I just think him being the featured back, I don't know. Maybe it's not a bad thing. I say it's a bad thing. I say maybe it is a good thing. Maybe they can shed some weight and either trade or release a Dak press or not Dak but Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe they can shed some weight and get him out of that locker room. Maybe he is a problem in the locker room. Tony Pollard looks really good right now, so maybe it's not that big of an issue. But I just feel like if you're keeping Zeke in your locker room and you plan on having Zeke in your locker room all season long, this is going to end up being a problem for the Dallas Cowboys.
And I don't think that, because I think Zeke sees this as adding longevity onto his career. Zeke already got paid. He's making his $103 million or however much he's making.
No NFL player in the world, not one running back, not one wide receiver that says, you know what, if that guy gets more touches than me, I'm all right with it because I get more time on my career. Not one. Not one, because that means less of a payday. Look, I know you say Zeke already got his money, but he's going to get another. He's going to become a free agent again.
Yeah, but then you ball out your free agent year, right?
If you're allowed to.
True. I see what you're saying, but I mean, let's go on. Let's go ahead and move on to the main topic of the show here. Zach Wilson and the New York Jets got beat down by the New England Patriots today, guys. The Patriots won 25-6. Zach Wilson threw for 4 interceptions, and I saw Bill Belichick smiling on the sideline after that 4th interception. Tori, you have been adamant all offseason that Zach is trash. So after Zach Wilson looked pretty decent during preseason, week 1 he was kind of like, Week 2 he's definitely taken many steps back with his 4 interception games. Is Zach Wilson officially trash?
Before you talk about Zach Wilson here, can I just take off my headset and you guys can just point at me when you're ready for me to talk? I don't want to listen to this crap.
Okay. I mean, facts are facts.
He's the first NFL quarterback in, I don't know, I think in history to be intercepted on back-to-back. No, not on back. No. With his pass attempts. He's the first quarterback in NFL history to ever start off the game with 2 straight interceptions, to go 0 for 2 with 2 interceptions ever. And then was it 3? He had 3 picks in his first 4 attempts.
Yeah.
And he's the first NFL quarterback to ever do that. Zach Wilson is showing you exactly what I was telling everybody all offseason, pre-draft, during the draft, post-draft, preseason. Everybody was like jumping on that train. I was like, Zach Wilson is trash. The only thing the kid ever showed me ever on the tape was his arm. That's it. The kid doesn't have leadership abilities. He doesn't have the ability to read defenses. The game is too big for him. It is too big. And this is where I talk about he's going to go running back to daddy with his JetBlue money because things are a little too hard in the NFL for me, Dad. And now I'm going to come work for you, okay? Is that okay, Camel Payne? Get out of here, Zach Wilson. You are complete trash. You will be out of the NFL by year 5.
So, Combs, we've heard Tori explain to me why Zach Wilson's trash. Is Zach Wilson just had a bad game because of the Patriots' defense? Or what are your thoughts on this?
Hey, Buck, let me ask you a question.
Always.
How good is Joe Burrows? Is Joe Burrows the real deal?
It's tough saying, but I would say he is on the upward sling of being the real deal. Yes.
Tori, how's Joe Burrows?
Average at best.
Okay. So you're an idiot still. But
stats don't lie.
You're talking about he threw 2 interceptions. Joe Burrows today threw 3 interceptions on 3 passes. 3 interceptions on 3 straight passes. We watched Aaron frickin' Rodgers last week. Aaron frickin' Rodgers throw 2 interceptions on 2 passes. And now because Zach Wilson does it and you want to toot your horn, oh my God, he's having a bad you know why he's having a bad season? Do you know why he's not looking so good? It's not because he's trash. It's because, for one, they went up against Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick does not lose to rookie quarterbacks. It's just a fact. He doesn't. Look up the record. He does not lose to rookie quarterbacks. That's 1. For 2, they've got a pretty damn good defense. For 3, name me who's the New York Jets' number 1 running back?
Michael Carter.
Michael Carter. Now say that again and tell me who Michael Carter is. Where did Michael Carter go to college?
Michael Carter is a rookie, and I believe
No. Don't look it up. Where did he go to college? Exactly.
No.
Exactly my point. His wide receiver.
He was in North Carolina too.
His wide receiver core, Braxton Berrios. Who the frick is Braxton Berrios?
He was the leading receiver.
Jeff Smith, Michael Carter, the same Michael Carter we say is their freaking leading rusher, is also the 3rd best wide receiver on the team. So stop with the Zach Wilson is trash. It's not that Zach Wilson is trash. Zach Wilson has no help right now. And the Jets are going to work on that. They're changing that culture here. They're going to win some games that they're not supposed to, like I've said before, but they're going to lose a lot of games that they're supposed to. And this is one of those games that you're supposed to lose. The Patriots home opener. I'm sorry, this one was in New York. So you're losing to Bill Belichick, who doesn't lose to rookie quarterbacks. You're losing to a really good defense. I don't understand where you could just, Zach Wilson's trash. Zach Wilson. No, he's got no help. This isn't all on Zach Wilson.
And for the record, I was right. Michael Carter did play at North Carolina.
Yeah.
Cool. I know who else played at North Carolina? Mitchell Trubisky. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
So you saying that he has no help on the outside, and you're tuning your horn about the receiver is the number 3 receiver on the team. Isn't Alvin Kamara the number 1 receiver on the Saints right now? Isn't CMC the number 1 receiver on the Patriots as well right now, as far as stats? So that's kind of a irrelevant point there.
Did you just compare Michael frickin' Carter of the New York Jets to CMC and Alvin Kamara?
I'm saying that.
Didn't the Jets sign Corey Davis in the offseason?
Yeah. And didn't they draft Elijah Moore from Ole Miss, a very good receiver? Guys were kind of
a very good receiver. They've got one very good receiver on that team.
And then they drafted some guy out last year, and I can't remember.
And every team keys in on that. They key in on Elijah Moore. They take Elijah Moore out of the game. He doesn't have very many other weapons, and he's limited.
And what about
That's
Crowder?
What they do.
Isn't Crowder still on that team as well?
Crowder's hurt.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Like I thought
Crowder's hurt.
I
Didn't
thought
play.
they activated him this week. That's my fault.
Braxton Berrios was the number one targeted wide receiver today. Braxton Berrios. And Jeff Smith was third. Elijah Moore was second. Jeff Smith.
So
Jeff
let
Smith.
me ask you this, Combs. When you say there's no talent on the Jets, and you keep boosting these guys up, what about those quarterbacks that have all the talent? Those quarterbacks that you named that had 2-3 interceptions today as well. Aaron Rodgers last week, Joe Burrows. Are they still good, or are they bad?
Yeah, but they also have weapons.
Quarterbacks now that they have talent.
No,
around them?
they have weapons. What do you mean? They're going to come back. You're looking at a full season. Look, what are the Jets going to win this year? 5-6 games at the most?
2.
At the most. Okay, so you're saying 2. So they're going to win 2 games. So that doesn't make Zach Smith or Zach Wilson trash. That means that he's got a guy named Jeff Smith as his third best. Jeff Smith, it sounds like a guy who, when you go to the morgue and nobody's identified the body, hey, that Jeff Smith is he's in Bay 2. Like that's what Jeff Smith sounds like. And we're gonna talk about Zach Wilson is trash because Jeff Smith didn't bail him out today. Come on, stop it.
Okay, so
the Jets are changing their culture. It's not going to happen overnight. Give the Jets about 3 or 4 years under Robert Saleh and what that Jets organization is going to try to accomplish. And with Zach Wilson at the helm, with Zach Wilson under center, this Jets team is going to be a decent team in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, after they get 3 or 4 first-round picks and Zach Wilson is out, correct?
Zach Wilson will not be out.
All right, so on the other side of that coin, although Zach Wilson did throw 4 interceptions in today, the Patriots offense only scored 25 points. Combs, you are from the New England area, and you know how these Patriot fans are. Are the Patriots offense just not that good this year, or is it just Mac Jones isn't good?
I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Last thing I want to put out about Zach Wilson, he's got more touchdown passes this year than Aaron Rodgers does. Just saying. Anyways, moving on.
He's also played 2 games.
No. Moving on.
Tomorrow.
Moving on. So, yeah, but he didn't throw for any touchdowns today. So, moving on. Anyway, so the New England Patriots are good. The New England Patriots have a really good defense. Mac Jones is a good quarterback. I'd say probably the 3rd best quarterback to come out of this draft class behind Zach Wilson and behind Justin Fields. I think that he's going to have a good career. I think he got put into a perfect situation under Bill Belichick. I think that they're going to put him in a position to succeed week after week after week. I still only think that they're an 8 to 9 win team at the most. I think that the New England Patriots will probably be second in the AFC East. Then they'll probably backdoor their way into the playoffs. And then Bill Belichick will pull something out of his hat. We're going to see Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady in the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, jeez. Tori, what are your thoughts
Maybe
on
I'm
the
just
Patriots
hoping
offense?
for chaos.
Wait, did I just have a stroke?
I think so.
You might have when you were talking about Zach Wilson.
Is that burnt toast that I smell that you said the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl?
It was a joke. I said maybe I'm just rooting for chaos. No, I don't think that the Patriots are going to.
That was not a joke because when if the Patriots were to make it into the Super Bowl, Combs like wind it back to the 19th of September. I said they're going to the Super Bowl.
Just like if somehow the Lions were to figure it out and go 10-7, Buck would be on here with a Lions cape on. He'd have a crown on his head. He'd be talking. I told you about the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, 10-7, greatest team of all time. The Detroit Lions. Get the hell out of here.
Tori, Patriots offense.
Patriots offense still finding themselves. It's a work in progress. You got a rookie quarterback, but you have a good offensive line. Yeah. You got some weapons. They'll get better.
They will get better. They probably should have just kept Cam Newton because he would have at least led him to the playoffs.
You know what
probably.
I really hope happens? I hope that tomorrow night the Detroit Lions shut out the Green Bay Packers. So for another week, I can say that Aaron Rodgers has less touchdown passes than Zach Wilson.
That would be freaking awesome, wouldn't it? And
oh my God, I would love every second of it.
All right, guys, so we are up against our next break here on the Man Hour. On the other side of the break, we have a brand new segment called Wyatt Wines. That's right, we're bringing Mr. Wyatt Williams onto the show, and he's going to whine about probably his Green Bay Packers or how much college sucks or how he has to make his own bed and how he still doesn't know how to.
Has more ones than Aaron Rodgers this year, too.
All right, guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned. Oh. Wrong button. There you go. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheis along with Brandon Combs and Tori Anderson. You can find us all on the Twitter machine at @manhour_Buck, @manhour_Combs, and of course @manhour_Tori as well.
Did he call him Wyatt Earp, Tori Williams?
I was gonna say that's what. I'm like, did he call me Wyatt Earp?
Yeah.
Wyatt Earp.
Sorry, guys.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
You want thunder?
This
I'll
show
bring the
is
thunder.
brought to you by
Help someone with it.
pick'emwars.com. Head over to pick'emwars.com and sign up for free and win real money on spread picks over there on NFL, college, UFC, and Major League Baseball. But guys, we do have a special guest for you guys lined up tonight. Now, is he a guest, guys?
Or is he a
or is he special?
I don't know.
He's kind of a part-timer. I mean, every once in a while he wants to show up. Sometimes he joins the chat. Then he pretends like he doesn't even know what we're talking about when we, tag him and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what he is at this point. Maybe we should just call him a guest for now.
Yeah, but we do welcome the Wyatt Williams back onto the show for his segment, his weekly segment every Sunday here at 9:50 p.m. East Coast time called Wyatt Wines. So, Wyatt, you got the next 5 or 6 minutes to whine about whatever you want, man. Floor is all yours, big guy.
Well, first off, it's like I'm a special guest. What was that? No, don't bring it back up here. Bring it back up here. We gotta talk about this for a second, okay? This ain't over. Special guest, okay?
Okay.
What?
Look at me, I'm a college boy. I don't want to
live
be in the
life.
show
Listen
no
here,
more.
college
Hey, Wyatt,
boy. When was
have
the
you-
last time that you signed up? Okay, how about this, college boy? Why are you, Tori? Why are you solo? Get out of here.
I don't know. Because I'm pretty. I'm so pretty.
So, okay, Mr. Special Guest here. How about that fantasy league that you're supposed to set up and it never happened?
I did.
He set it up. We just didn't sign up for it.
I set it up like 8 times, moved all the dates. Nobody ever joined it. We missed our draft date like
kinda like
3
our Wheel of
times.
Death picks. Kind of like our Wheel of Death picks that
Oh,
everybody else has signed up for. except for you.
Okay. Throw it on me. Okay, I see.
All right. Whatever, Wyatt.
Hey,
Just-
on our Pick'em thing, I am ranked like 8th in the nation right now. Okay, so back off.
guess-
You don't
guess
want
what
me
you're
this.
not
All
ranked.
right?
Guess what you're not
The problem
ranked.
is
You're ranked
they're
spinning the
ranked.
Wheel of Death this week. That's what you're ranked. 0 wins.
When are we spinning that?
tomorrow night because I'm lost. Me and you lost.
And if you're
Wyatt.
not on, we're gonna spin it for you, Wyatt, and we'll let you know what your punishment is.
All
But
right.
shave your head is not on
Lovely.
there, I promise.
All right, Wyatt
Okay, well,
Wines.
that's at least good.
Go
Well,
for it.
here's the first part of Wines. I guess this Wheel of Death thing. I mean, we were just talking about this in the break, and they tell me, they're like, hey, you were supposed to submit your picks and all this stuff. All right, look, I'm down here studying, working my tail off. I'm in college and all that stuff, making mom and dad proud, and these guys are throwing stuff at me from left field and telling me now I've got to spin some Wheel of Death because I didn't put in my picks. I mean, what is this?
It's called being an adult. Life's not fair. Get over it.
What part of the being an adult manual has a Wheel of Death on it? I have not seen that yet, but I guess I'll end
There's
up
a
finding it.
manual
My
for
first,
being an adult.
Have you ever eaten
My
an egg
first-
salad sandwich from a gas station? That's the Wheel of
no.
Death.
Fun story
wait,
actually.
Buck, let's put that on the Wheel of Death. In fact,
I have ate a tuna sandwich from a gas station before. That's a true story. It was terrible, but it is a true story. But anyways, back to Wyatt Wines. First thing I wanted to mention here, okay, and this is something I realized earlier today. So I'm sitting here watching football with Nikki and my friends Max and Nathan that I've met down here, and we're watching, and I noticed that the Carolina Panthers are just putting it on the New Orleans Saints, who put it on my Packers last week. Okay, and here's what I've realized, all right? I don't think this was an Aaron issue. I don't think this was a scheme issue, a coaching issue. I'll tell you exactly what happened, okay? I have factual-based evidence behind this, too. The New Orleans Saints play better whenever there's a natural disaster in New Orleans. I don't know what it is, but they do. When after Hurricane Katrina, they were out of their minds that first game. And then now we just happen to face – so natural disaster Saints – is like, I guess, as dominant as Tom Brady. I don't know. That's what we're looking at here, I guess. So that's the first complaint I have on that one. And Tori, do you agree with me on that? I mean, come on, man.
no, we just look terrible.
Yeah, we
Terrible.
did just look terrible. It was rough for
They
sure.
got outcoached, outplayed, out everything in week
Well,
one.
Jameis showed us who Jameis is this week.
Let me ask you a question,
Kinda
Wyatt.
figured.
This is a serious question. Have you ever seen the Packers, and I asked this to Tori last week, have you ever seen the Packers outcoached the way they've been outcoached in the Matt LaFleur era?
I mean, yeah, I think so. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh really had Mike McCarthy's number a couple times in the playoffs with Kaepernick.
But that was in
I mean,
single games. That wasn't the entire the Matt LaFleur era has been really bad.
It's been bad, but I mean, I don't think it's really been bad. He's been 13-3 every year.
Yeah, he's 26-4 as a head coach in his first 30 games.
How many
That's
Super
not
Bowls has he
bad.
won?
Oh my God! So is he supposed to come in and win a Super Bowl every year? Like,
I went with the Buck argument there. I went with the Buck argument there because I lost. How many Super Bowls he got?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. I could see, yes, I could definitely see that he's been outcoached a little, at times. But I don't know, man. Mike McCarthy has there have been days where I was watching football and I'm just like, dude, McCarthy's trash. Like, it's bad. And I'm talking, those were like playoff days. Like Pete Carroll for an entire second half. We were up 16-0 going into half. Pete Carroll outcoached Mike McCarthy and ended up coming back and winning on a horrible onside kick that broke every Packers fan heart. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I would say in significant games, yes, but as a whole, I mean, like I said, he's been 13-3 his first 2 seasons as the head coach. So I don't know if we consider that fully outcoached as an era, because I'll take 13-3 every single year over ever having Mike McCarthy again.
And Greg Zuerlein bailed out Mike.
Not 13-3.
Yeah.
What?
You take Aaron Rodgers off of those teams, you're not 13-3.
Oh no, for sure. If you take
Tom Brady off the Patriots, they don't win 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
if
you take Tom Brady off of the Patriots, and they would have 0 Super Bowls right now.
Yeah. Greg Zuerlein helped McCarthy out again. But look, I don't know. I think Matt LaFleur. Granted, I get the records, but I think a lot of that has to do with the talent that's on the team. He's still been outcoached. I mean, look at the NFC title game last year. I mean, what other coach in the NFL with Aaron Rodgers on their team doesn't go for it?
That was the a lot of people like to mention, that Jordan Love was really the undoing of the Packers. I don't think that was. I think us not going for it on Aaron Rodgers' MVP season, whenever you give the ball back to Tom Brady, Matt LaFleur not trusting Aaron Rodgers in that situation was the moment for me where I think I was kind of like, well, there goes Aaron, as if all the stuff before it didn't matter. That right there was kind of the moment for me where I, took a step back and was like, wow, okay, this is really probably it, because you got Aaron Rodgers.
A week makes too, because last week Torrey was all about Matt LaFleur was out coach, and Matt LaFleur now he's like, well,